We open on our guy getting hard kicked from his own S-rank party. The dudes he literally started it with calmly telling him they want him out like he's yesterday's patch note. He's staring at them like this a joke, right? Because they finally made it to S rank and now they're speed running the betrayal route. They spell it out again slow and clear. They want him gone from their glorious sword squad, no misunderstanding, just raw bench. Flashback, 15 years ago, portals started popping up worldwide, spitting monsters into reality like someone turned on a hell. The portals are basically sewer pipes, acting as gateways to other realms and spewing creatures all over the place. In response, a chunk of humanity suddenly awakens game-like levels and skills, as if reality decided to download an MMO client to fight back. The small percentage who got powers to push monsters back became known as hunters, our world's bug testers and janitors. Hunters can choose any character class they want. But some classes like mages are slow to cast, hard to control, and come with extra crispy difficulty. Because mage casting is clunky and death-prone, people who choose pure mage builds get few perks and very high mortality, not exactly a beginner-friendly path. So back in the day, our boy picked a bandit-type class with cracked agility because his priority was simple: grind X fast and get strong. His plan worked. He farmed levels like a maniac and rose into a top-rank hunter known as the Swift Blade, the fast guy nobody could catch. As portals kept wrecking the world harder each year, he pushed to the front lines, fighting for his country and for everyone else like a good little DPS. He genuinely believed he'd keep doing that forever, living and dying as a hunter. Back in the present, his guild members are just standing there, tension so thick you can cut it with a blade. The guild leader repeats it again, that they want our bro out of the guild. Furious, our boy shouts and wants to know the reason for him being kicked out. His so-called comrades hit him with the why speech, saying come on, he knows the reason they're kicking him. They point out that as monsters got stronger, none of his attacks work on the high-level stuff anymore, and he's trash as a support on top of that. They say bandit classes are only good for speed, and are basically has-beens now only picked by low-tier grinders who want pocket change, not real progression. They brag that mages are better in a party because they can damage strong monsters even at low level, making him sound like patch-outdated content. On top of that, the guild has already stripped him of his S-rank title, so he won't run into high-level portals and instantly die. Our guy tries to push back, admitting he has shortcomings, but insisting he always put his life on the line and contributed however he could. He argues that nobody confuses and poisons monsters like he does, and that when his gimmicks work, they really work. His leader just smiles and says, good, at least you're not disheartened, keep at it. This lights up our bro's world, asking is he really meant that. And the guild leader just give him a loving smile, then casually repeats that he's out of the party anyway, so it doesn't matter. Transition to after this chaos, his room filled with disgust and trash everywhere. We see our down in the dumps boy smoking a cig to help relieve stress. For our MC, being a hunter meant everything. He never got much spotlight, but he believed all his grind would pay off one day. Instead, this is what he gets as a reward for all that sacrifice: kicked from his team the moment they hit the top. Because he never felt good enough, he kept buying party supplies from his own pocket and reinvesting almost all his earnings into equipment. Now he has no savings left, lost his S rank, and can't even enter high-level portals anymore. He's broke, ranked, and locked out of endgame. Meanwhile, his ex-party is on the news for successfully clearing a supposedly impregnable Chinese portal and flexing on the world. And this leaves our guy shocked, thinking internally, dang, they really didn't need me. Online comments call it ridiculous, mockingly ask where the bandit went, and say they heard he got kicked about time since he only ran around like dead weight. Our boy rages, throws his phone, and screams at himself for ever picking bandit, the fun but mid-class. He considers selling all his gear to survive, admitting it'd be enough to scrape by if he liquidates everything. But there's one issue. He can't get over how he sacrificed literally everything for that party, and now has absolutely nothing left to show for it. While he's spiraling, an emergency alert blares on his phone. Sitting up, he goes to check out what type of problem it is. Just then, the alert is about an S-rank monster appearing in his ward, ordering people to evacuate. He realizes all the local big shots are out of the country, and there's nobody nearby strong enough to stop an S-rank monster like that. He admits he also can't defeat it alone. But looking at his equipment and giving himself a little chuckle, we all know where this is going. The scene shifts to this S-rank monster, and just look at this absolute unit. And our bro just chuckles darkly, glad at least that he didn't already sell his equipment. The monster is identified as a dragon of space and time, with a name that sounds way deadlier than anything he's fought. He decides if he has to die, going out fighting a space-time dragon would make a pretty glorious ending to his hunter career. With a confident smirk, he rushes the dragon to come on, so he can get his final battle started. Charging in, he boosts himself up thinking that he is a hunter, he can do this. Our guy charges out thinking he can at least buy civilians time to escape and stall until other S ranks arrive. He does a swift but clean attack, hoping to deal a little damage. But the dragon counters back with an even faster attack. He sprints through the city, gears up, and meets the dragon head-on, immediately realizing it's much faster than he expected. One hit from the thing smashes his weapon aside, shatters structures, and nearly turns him into a smear. He knows if he steps in too close, he'll be killed instantly. So he keeps his distance and swaps to a poison sickle. He slashes using that sickle, but it just bounces right off. Man, our guy is cooked. Only to find the beast is immune to his trademark poison, leaving him with nothing but footwork to rely on. He admits this is completely out of his league, and that he'd already be dead if not for his bandit-class speed. Cornered with nowhere to run, he reaches for his last resort, hoping his signature theft skill can do something. Spinning something around like Batman, he throws something called a claw at the monster. Apparently he activated a skill that steals items from a target, gambling that maybe this monster has something useful he can swipe. But he won't be counter-attacking soon, as one big slash comes across him. And just look at bro, this fight was decided from the beginning, but nice try, guy. As he's battered around, vision fading, he wonders if this is really the end of the road. With his pupils going white, he laments that he can't see a damn thing anymore. Now thinking even deeper about how after a lifetime of saving people, is this really how it's gonna end for our guy? He wishes he'd had a second chance, convinced he could do way better on a redo if life would just let him pick again. In the haze, he feels something in his hand, and realizes his theft skill actually managed to steal an item off the dragon. It's an epic-grade pocket watch that offers a one-time chance to turn back time by 10 years, then disappears from all dimensions. He's stunned, questioning if it can really turn back time by 10 years. He's never even seen an epic item before, let alone one that claims to literally rewind his life. While thinking, the dragon prepares another attack to finally end our bro. But he says there's no time to overthink. He clutches it and wishes with everything he has to go back in time. As the dragon nears him, his consciousness fades, a loud crackling noise fills his head, and he briefly wonders if he's dead already. He wakes up to a loud beep and flops up, staring at a digital clock and calendar showing a date from 10 years ago. Our guy thinks only one thing, could this be a dream? He goes to open the curtain, and is shocked by what he is seeing outside. He realizes the watch actually worked, it's literally 10 years in the past. He snaps his fingers and calls up his status window, confirming his character class is still undecided. He hasn't chosen anything yet. Seeing that blank class slot makes it real, he really has been sent back in time. With a smug smile on his face, he vows. This time around, he vows to become the strongest hunter of all time instead of that fast guy they kicked. News in the background rehashes early Portal drama, people dying, civilians getting barred from entering, monsters getting stronger every year. They argue that sending powerless people into portals only adds bodies to the pile, but eventually everyone agrees folks need to learn to protect themselves. Watching the news on his phone, he still couldn't believe the watch sent him back 10 years. At some point, people stopped debating this issue altogether because it was clear that everyone should learn to protect themselves. He watches all this and thinks knowing the future is insanely useful. He knows which monsters give more XP, and where the good drops are. He notes that no one else at this point knows which creatures are XP jackpots or where rare items are hiding. First, though, he needs to actually pick a class. And to do that, he has to reach level 10. Low-level, no-class hunters don't have many portals they're allowed to enter. So the guild strictly regulates what newbies can touch. He signs up for a tiny F-rank goblin den, planning to grind his way on trash mobs, and says after he defeats this last goblin he'll be level 10. But just before that, some old guy swipes his kill, not cool man. Another hunter dives in, saying he got there just in time and asking if the new guy in the back is okay. Our MC looks at this loud great sword uncle and wonders who the hell this tutorial NPC is. The guy says clearing this portal solo is rough, since goblins are weak but deadly when they mob you. He proudly introduces himself as a level 16 great sword user whose self-assigned job is babysitting newbies so they don't die here. He calls himself the tutorial guy, which basically means he has nothing better to do and wants future side income. He explains he helps rookies because monster numbers keep rising and there's no official retirement age, so this guide gig could be a paycheck later. Our MC side-eyes him thinking, who asked, and wonders if he has to keep this guy around at all. After grinding, he finally hits level 10 and gets a level up notification with extra skill points. The Great Sword Uncle congratulates him enthusiastically, saying he's pretty good and might even become famous someday. The MC dryly notes he did manage S rank once already, but keeps that part to himself. Tutor Guy reminds him he can now pick a character class and urges him to choose wisely, offering free advice. With his hand to his chin, he repeats the words, character class in his head, thinking of the best one. Our boy thinks over how each class comes with unique skills that you can only unlock by spending skill points. The menu shows options like fire, magic, movement detection, swordsmanship, mana reinforcement, and night vision with their point costs. Great Sword Uncle suggests swordsman so he can charge in like him, but admits bandit might also fit his agile style. He's shocked to see MC hasn't spent any skill points yet, and asks if this dude even knows how the system works. He reminds him that newbies are told to start with 2 mandatory skills, light steps and fortitude from the intro lectures. Those starter skills boost raw physical stats, considered essential for beginners who have 0 defensive options. But our MC, gunning to be the strongest ever, decides he can't waste anything on beginner safety nets like that. He says there's only one skill he needs and scrolls to a very specific, very cursed option. Tutor Guy panics, begging him not to pick it as MC hovers over fall damage resistance. The skill reduces gravity damage from falling or similar hits, and Guide Uncle calls it useless and a total waste, saying that he'll never find a situation that calls for it. MC buys it anyway, spending 5 points just to negate gravity slap damage. After purchasing it, he just says good. The uncle asks if he's secretly afraid of heights, then tells him not to cry over spilled milk but to spend the rest wisely. Instead, MC levels fall damage resistance again, while the uncle asks if he is serious. And again, dumping all his points into it while the uncle screams. The guide is horrified that he burned all his skill points on a meme defense, asking what the hell he was thinking. He says now MC can basically only pick between swordsman or civilian, the default nobody class. MC calmly says there's one more option, and pulls up the class selection screen. A hidden third class appears, Gravity Master, only unlocked when you spend every level 1 to 10 skill point on fall damage resistance. The MC explains no one knew this class existed for a long time, because its unlock condition is so specific and dumb. Even after discovery, hardly anyone picks it because manipulating gravity is insanely hard and high risk. But our boy, with future knowledge, knows Gravity Master is actually the best class in the game. The system asks if he wants to choose it, and the Great Sword Uncle yells for him to stop, because that path becomes a mage type. Tutor Guy insists he can still cancel and pick swordsman like a sensible meta slave. MC refuses. This is exactly what he wants. He confirms Gravity Master, the screen floods with zeros, and he instantly gains gravity manipulation and gravity magic. He cheers that he's finally a mage, and swears this time he'll climb back to S rank with a broken caster, build so nobody can humiliate him again. Great Sword Uncle nervously warns that mage classes are fragile, have low defense, and die a lot compared to other roles. He even suggests maybe our bro should reconsider being a hunter at all, since this path is misery on hard mode. But our guy thinks to himself that of course the guy talks like that. Everyone still believes close-range melee is king at this point in time. But suddenly a scream is heard which catches the uncle attention. Right then a high-level monster called Recap appears, cackling like a goblin on steroids and scaring the whole room. People scream that a monster that strong should not be in a rookie portal and start running. As the goblin starts rushing them, he urges for everyone to run away. The guide admits he only stayed in this low-tier place because he knew he wasn't skilled enough for stronger monsters, and now he wants to bail. But he realizes all the other hunters here are level 10 or lower. Nobody else can even attempt to stop the thing. He yells for our guy to run as well, and he watches the guide uncle step forward and try to handle it alone. Our bro says that with the tutorial guy's level, he should be able to handle this monster. Great Sword Guy swings with all he's got, but it's obvious he has no experience fighting enemies higher level than him. The guy then asks if there's anyone level 15 plus available. The spectators recall this uncle is supposed to be level 16. Already they all admit there's no way they could fight something higher level than himself and survive, but he's stuck anyway. The red cap is insanely quick, and even MC knows one slip-up would mean instant death. He tells himself he must not volunteer. The monster is way too strong for his current stats. He can't even visually track the monster's movements yet, and knows one hit would delete him on the spot. On top of that, he doesn't even fully understand his new skills yet, and gravity masters start with garbage stats. Then he remembers how the uncle just risked himself to save a random newbie. But watching babysitter bro flail around and almost die protecting him flips a switch in his messed up little brain, because leaving this guy to get soloed feels disgusting. On top of that, he's a bit of a battle junkie, so the more his class looks like a handicap, the more he wants to see if he can break it and make it work anyway. So he decides to jump in and test his new build against a monster that absolutely should one-shot him, which is peak protagonist brain damage. The sword babysitter freaks out, yelling that his level is too low, and that mage types are extra vulnerable to melee enemies like the scuffed red Grim Reaper. He yells that a monster this fast and this strong can kill a mage in an instant, which is true, but at this point the gravity idiot's already committed to the bit. Instead of backing down, our bro declares he's going to use this red-hooded gremlin as his test dummy, because if he runs away now, picking gravity was pointless. He tells himself that if he can't beat a weak monster like this, then staking his entire second life on this weird hidden class was just a clown move. He literally puts his second chance as a hunter on the line in this one fight, which is either incredibly brave or incredibly dumb, probably both. As the red cap locks his attention on our bro, he starts sprinting towards him. The sword guy yells out for our guy to run. He remembers that the worst part of normal mage classes is how pathetic their physical stats are, forcing them to constantly hide behind melee chaperones. But gravity mages are built different, because they can pour mana into their own bodies to artificially boost their physical performance by messing with gravity. He activates his gravity manipulation, cuts the weight pulling him down in half. And instantly, his movement speed spikes like he just turned on speed hacks. The babysitter is just standing there stunned, wondering how this low-level mage is suddenly moving like a first-tier physical class on an energy drink bender. Seizing the moment, he demonstrated a skill that had the gravity acting on him, effectively boosting his movement speed with focused confidence. His dash turns into a straight-line rocket burst, so he can't curve or strafe fancy. But if he can predict where the enemy will move, that's more than enough. He moves swiftly, dodging the goblin's attacks. He's got a full lifetime of experience fighting thousands of monsters at once using nothing but footwork, so reading patterns is the one thing he's cracked at. With that background, he uses the gravity-boosted speed to slice past the red-hooded freak, landing clean blows that absolutely shouldn't be possible for his level. The uncle is shocked, asking how a low-level mage is making such swift attacks. For gravity users, two things matter above everything else: how well you manage your mana pool and how deeply you understand the crazy rules of your own class. With good mana discipline and real understanding, a gravity user can push their stats to match or even surpass those of so-called top-tier combat classes, at least in short bursts. Low-level monsters like this red gremlin follow simple, predictable attack patterns, so as long as he can outspeed and outread it, the fight is way less hopeless than it looks. He keeps stacking speed through gravity manipulation, zipping in and out while the monster flails around, stunned that this mage isn't just food. Sword Uncle is just standing there watching this fight and wondering how this is even possible. Suddenly, our bro calls out to the uncle. Eventually, he times it perfectly and shouts at the sword babysitter to finish it, setting it up so all that guy has to do is swing once and not miss for once in his life. But the red menace isn't done posturing yet, turning its back like it's above them, which is when the MC decides to flex the other half of his kit. He uses his other skill, gravity magic, and casts a binding spell that yanks the creature down and pins its movements like someone just hit pause on its legs, jumping up into the air to perform the final slice. With its body forced and locked by increased gravity, the follow-up slash lands clean, and the over-leveled gremlin gets shredded instead of them. The kill notification pops up, his level jumps from 10 to 12, and he gets a nice chunk of fresh skill points for almost getting murdered on purpose. He looks at the squashed corpse and realizes it worked. This fight is living proof that his weird, supposedly suicidal class choice can actually carry him all the way to the top. Around them, the other hunters who were just background extras until now start whispering about how the new guy killed that monster way too easily for his level. The sword babysitter is panting and humbled, admitting he couldn't even fight back properly, while this newly minted mage straight up outsped the monster like it was a training dummy. The uncle is still in shock, saying he couldn't believe this, and that our bro doesn't even realize what he just managed to do. The man says our guy is gifted beyond measures. The uncle thinks to himself just who our bro really is. Just then our guy goes limp in the legs, wobbling everywhere. He says that he is all out of mana and shouldn't have used so many skills. Staggering away, he laments that he should definitely work on his mana. The uncle comes over thanking our boy and offering him a piggyback ride out of the dungeon. He says that although it is pretty embarrassing, it beat having to walk like this, so he accepts. The uncle thinks to himself that despite the chaos inside the portal, only our bro, who had become a hunter just days ago, decided to help. He thanks the MC, saying that he helped him find the courage he needed. He reflected on his past fears, admitting that he had only been hunting low-level monsters because he let his fear get the better of him. With a smile on his face, he thought that now it was about time he stopped being the tutorial guy. He says it was an honor to witness the birth of a hero, and thanks our bro just one last time. Recognizing the success of the other portal in demonstrating his capabilities as a gravity user, he decided it was time to focus on leveling up. Realizing the dangers and inefficiency of fighting alone, he resolved that he needed to find someone to level up with. He looked at her surprised expression as she explained that she had never heard of a gravity user before, revealing her own uncertainty about the character class. She questioned whether he could fight monsters with such low attributes, expressing concern about the safety of choosing a mage class with these limitations. But our guy then asks if he can be introduced to any good parties now that he's proven he's not just soft and ornamental. She eagerly responded that she could provide a quick lead, mentioning that there was a party willing to accept anyone regardless of character, class, or level. Our guy asks if she could introduce that party to him. The staff lady looks awkward because, even with the performance, his class is still a mage with low base stats, and most parties are biased as hell against that. She tries to gently warn him that they'll probably turn him down the second they see his build, which is honestly fair because people here fear spreadsheets more than monsters. Our guy thinks internally that many rare classes are hard to handle and most people don't want that headache. He knew rare classes were disliked, but didn't expect the stigma to be this bad this early. He says he'll still try his luck if she gives him their contact information, determined to brute force his way into teamwork like a persistent email campaign. Some smug clown nearby mocks the scene, saying it's unbearable to watch and that MC is putting the staff lady in a tough spot. The guy tells MC to stop giving her a hard time and just leave, fully committing to his jerk role. And our guy just asked who he was, and the blondie took offense, asking if that was a joke and that our boy was funnier than he thought because our bro was supposed to know him. He reveals that he leads some hot rising party with a flashy name and assumes everyone must obviously know who he is, which is already a big red flag. The MC casually guesses his party is all melee classes because everyone knows mage classes are considered useless by clowns like this. He brags that his whole group is made up of melee classes, then trashes mage classes in general, calling them useless cowards who are too scared to get near monsters, whining and crying instead of fighting. And that they don't deserve to be hunters at all, exactly the kind of idiot mindset our gravity gremlin is about to ruin. Realizing his smug grin, he advised that our bro should have done their research before awakening their powers, emphasizing his confidence in a tone that bordered on teasing. He sarcastically criticized our guy's attributes, claiming they were so poor that they almost seemed offensive and gave a bad reputation to all the rare character classes. He asked if that meant he also possessed a rare character class, his expression serious and inquisitive. He confidently challenged our boy, excitedly asking if he wanted to see what he could do. Lightning crackling around his sword, he shouted to our bro to behold his power. He raised his weapon, which emitted a surge of electric energy resembling a thunderbolt, showcasing his fierce determination and unleashing a powerful display of energy. He confidently declared that he was a Thunder Knight, emphasizing that it was the best rare character class due to its amazing attributes and skills, and he believed it was perfect for someone like him. The blondie, holding his sword and surrounded by curious onlookers who were astonished by the new skill and questioned how such character classes could exist, expressing their surprise at not knowing about them. The guy just confidently smiles, basking in all the attention and glory. Just then, the receptionist expressed her frustration and confusion about the rule prohibiting skill use inside the building, as the blondie questioned what he was supposed to do since the MC didn't seem to understand his predicament. He challenged our boy's motives, smirking confidently and implying that joining a party could be viewed as selfish, despite claiming it was none of his business. He said with abilities like our boy, whatever team he decided to join was gonna have a hard time. Meanwhile, our guy is just thinking about this loser's Thunder Knight class. The main character, with a serious and focused expression, analyzed the battle context and reflected that the character class was built for attacks, capable of inflicting significant damage but lacking the agility needed for more complex battles. He acknowledged that he would be in big trouble when facing monsters that are either quick or immune to lightning attacks. Onlookers observed the scene carefully and wondered if the MC was trying to exploit the party, questioning if the commotion was caused by that, and dismissed mage character classes as useless. Then the onlookers gazed thoughtfully and expressed their envy, mentioning that the other guy had a rare character class called a Thunder Knight, which they had heard only appears randomly based on initial attributes. Our gravity gremlin walks out of the guild remembering that at this point in history, portals are still new. And people treat mages like walking suicide notes with pretty effects. He thinks back on how everyone used to obsess over flashy skills and stat spreads when choosing classes, like picking drip over survival. Realizing no one sane wants a gravity mage yet, he decides he'll probably have to solo for a while and build a record before any party takes him seriously. The blondie was called out for his inappropriate remarks, with the woman expressing concern or disapproval in a professional setting. Feeling resolute, the protagonist declared that he would fight alone for the time being, turning slightly away from the group with unwavering determination. Tutorial jerk with the lightning ego tells him he should reconsider the whole hunter thing and hopes he doesn't just end up as a corpse in a portal, calling him Mr. Mage like an insult. Our guy just waves and thanks him for the advice, mentally filing it under reasons I'm going to outscale your whole bloodline. He heads into the Hunter Guild archives, knowing it'll take time to earn trust and that he won't get into temporary parties until his resume stops looking like weird mage enjoys falling. He decides he needs a long-term teammate he can rely on, ideally someone whose class synergizes well with gravity shenanigans. But first, he knows he has to level up and achieve something impressive enough that people can't just shrug him off. He remembers how easily he took down Recap and how that fight showed him a glimpse of what gravity users can actually do. So he resolves to push himself into a portal with monsters above his level to really stress test the build. Next thing you know, he's scanning for a good target, asking what portal would suit this reckless power leveling agenda. Among guild-owned portals, he picks a level 25 place called the Temple of Stones as a solid benchmark. He recalls that owned portals are ones the guild has contained, but left open so hunters can farm exp and demonic stones. The notable monster there is the Stone Knight, a rock golem type that's perfect for slightly skilled hunters to grind money and experience. He figures that once he bags one of those, parties might actually consider taking him on instead of roasting him. Since people can enter these portals even below the recommended level, he decides his level. Ass can at least hunt near the entrance. He closes the book, pumps himself up with an "I can do this," and steps toward the Temple of Stones ready to gamble his respawn. He swears he's going to level up there, then start recruiting party members who actually complement his gravity instead of clowning on it. Cut to the Temple of Stones, we see a small figure from far away. We then see the person huffing out of breath and injured running away from something. The injured man starts talking to himself, saying this can't be and it doesn't make any sense. While running away, he trips on a rock lying in the floor. Bleeding from the fall, he starts screaming like his life depends on it. We then get a glimpse of the huge monster the guy was running from. Cut back to our bro, and the receptionist shrieks that going alone into the Temple of Stones is insane, since the recommended level is 25 and up, not fresh rebirth mage. Our guy calmly points out there's nothing in the rules saying he can't do it, which is exactly how every bad idea starts. She admits that's technically true, but insists he'd just be killing himself, reminding him portals can throw unexpected monster curveballs. She warns he might run into something way more dangerous than he expects and chases after him yelling, but he keeps walking. He says he won't stay long, just a quick look around, like that's ever how these things go. He thinks that to get stronger he has to take real risks and constantly fight monsters higher level than him. Otherwise, he'll never gain enough X to keep up, and he knows one good kill in here could give him multiple levels at once. He steps through, telling himself it shouldn't take that long, famous last words reverberating through the stone halls. Walking past these totally not obvious stone monsters. Inside, a stone statue creaks to life. And he calmly says he saw it coming, this is exactly what he came here for. He gauges the knight's aura and estimates it around level 20. Deciding that's still manageable for a lunatic like him. He faced the attacking adversary with unwavering determination, swiftly deflecting the incoming strike amidst the tense confrontation. Just before being cornered by the monster, he casts reduced gravity on himself, lightening his body, and dashing in with that linear rocket speed. He notes he can see all its weak points clearly. Even if the thing's level is higher, it moves like a big predictable puppet. His blade clashes against the stone armor, and he immediately feels how tough it is. He comments that the defense stats are no joke. He knows he could slow grind it down over time, but there's something new he's itching to test. He reduces gravity to boost his speed, dodges the monster's attacks, slashes in, then mid-strike increases gravity at the exact point of impact to amplify the hit, piercing the monster. The combo cracks the knight's core and collapses its body, the rock shell crumbling like cheap drywall. He comments on how he made himself lighter to increase speed. Then he accelerated the gravity at the point of impact to increase the damage. He watches it crumble and thinks this gravity speed into gravity smash combination is insanely powerful for its level. His system tells him he's gained a big chunk of EXP and levels up from 12 to 16 in one go, with a fat stack of skill points. Just like he expected, slaying a higher level mob in here shot him up multiple levels at once. He decides to spend those points immediately, pulling up the options to upgrade either gravity magic or gravity manipulation. With limited points, he can only boost one, so he chooses gravity manipulation again to deepen his control over himself. The upgraded skill now lets him control both the direction and amount of gravity acting on his body, not just on off. He explained that his new gravity control ability allowed him to manipulate both the direction and magnitude of gravity acting on his body, demonstrating his confidence and focus. He figures he'll be able to come up with some disgusting tech later using full directional control. Kneeling down in front of the glowing red orb, he says this is what he truly came here for. He pulls the demonic stone core from the corpse, knowing it'll serve as physical proof that he really killed a stone knight here. He's got what he came for, but since he still has plenty of mana left. And our bro just looks at us with that, you thinking what I'm thinking look. He's tempted to hunt one more monster to test the new upgrade. Elsewhere in the temple, Lightning Jerk from the guild is frying a stone knight with a single thunderbolt. While his party hypes him up, his teammates remark that the monster even seemed resistant to lightning, but his overpowered skill just steamrolled it anyway. Lightning Clown laughs that it's almost too easy and wonders if all owned portals are this much of a joke. He complains that leveling is starting to feel slow again, and suggests heading to a portal with even stronger monsters. He's sitting at level 26, and talking like the world is his training montage. One of his party members asks if he wasn't too harsh on our boy back at the guild. He plays dumb, saying someone has to put newbies in their place and teach them where they belong. He genuinely thinks he did our MC a favor because otherwise the guy might gotten himself killed. The gaslighting is Olympic grade. He claims he had to be harsh to get through the newbie's thick skull. Then calls it a pity but necessary, while his teammate notes he didn't sound nearly that noble at the time. Just then, heavy footsteps echo through the portal, and the party grumbles, thinking it's just another stone knight respawn. Then they realize the footsteps are way louder, and Clown Leader shrugs that some monsters are just slightly bigger. The next second, a gigantic stone knight appears. That is absolutely not slightly anything, it's humongous, towering over them. Lightning Clown's eyes light up. He thinks this might finally be interesting. He reads its status, level 30, higher than the others they've seen, still technically just a rock doll but with way more stats. His teammate panics that they can't fight a monster like that, but the clown sees it as a thrill. He then says there is something that he's been thinking about. He explains he's been bored because monsters his level are too easy. And since his party is stronger than typical hunters, he wants to test himself on something bigger. He says he hopes this one finally gives him a decent fight, absolutely ignoring the bad idea alarms. The support asks if he's sure, but Lightning Clown points out there are 3 of them, like that's some magic number against a raid boss. He draws his sword, admitting the monster's big and high level, but repeats that at the end of the day, a stone knight is just a stone knight. He darts in for a slash, boasting it's still slow and dull, just to be pushed back by one of its slashes, which catches him off guard, only to be surprised when its speed is higher than he expected. He recovers with some that the extra levels make it slightly faster, then notes it still exposes a weakness after attacking. Using one of his lightning attacks, that does absolutely nothing. He thinks the increased defense makes things a bit more complicated. The monster then turns around to attack the idiot. He comments that the impact on his sword felt nasty. He plans to just block its blow and retreat out of range like before. Instead, the giant knight sneers. Yes, the rock sneers and swings a hard slash across the hard enough to send him flying with a nasty slash. He hits the ground groaning, thinking how could it be that powerful? Unable to believe how powerful this thing is from only a few levels difference. His teammates shout his name, and he warns them not to underestimate that monster again. The monster charges another attack, and the blow is so powerful I can't believe the sword hasn't shattered yet. And one of the party members rushes in yelling to save her. But he gets smacked down in a brutal instant. Leaving the lightning guy watching him flop to the ground, he stares in shock, asking why this is happening. As the giant creature loomed over him, he thought to himself, and wondering if monsters always looked this terrifying. He tries to reassure himself that he's supposed to be special, gathers everything into a thunderbolt, and blasts the knight using everything he has. He pants, insisting nothing should be able to stand after that full power strike. But the rock giant just glares through the smoke and creaks its body, very much not dead. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the look you make when you know you've messed up. He remembers his teammate earlier praising him for overpowering lightning-resistant monsters, and now realizes that comment might have been coping. The huge knight shatters the remnants of his defense, crumbling his pride along with the sword around them. He starts hiccuping and trembling, saying this must be a bad dream and that he doesn't want to die like this. As the knight goes to raise his sword to attack the idiot, just again he screams that he doesn't want to die, not look this at least. As the monster stomps closer, he falls to his knees begging not to be killed, shaking and pleading for someone to save him. Right as the stone arm swings, Gravity MC appears, cuts in, and reduces gravity on himself to intercept. He launches a pitiful attack at the monster which does literally nothing. He thinks to himself, oh well, I knew this wouldn't work, as if he's already running simulations in his head. Lightning Clown recognizes him as the newbie mage from the guild, and is horrified that this weakling is stepping up. He yells that there's no way MC can bring the monster down, and demands to know what he's thinking. Our boy, now level 16, calmly admits the fight won't be easy, and that the Stone Knight is level 30, brutally out of his league on paper. He supposes the monster probably leveled up eating hunters or other monsters until it became an irregular specimen. He also admits this one is genuinely huge and more intimidating than your average exp. He complains he only wanted a light stroll, to kill one more monster before leaving the portal. Instead, he's run into this huge freak. And as the clown screams for him to stop admiring it and just run, our gravity goblin is clearly already planning how to break it. The oversized rock boss just finished ragdolling 3 hotshot melee clowns before they could even scratch it. And then our low-level mage MC walks in, turns gravity off, and basically speed runs, being cooler than all of them combined. He dodges the monster's attack easily, jumping into the sky, and performing an unnecessary backflip above the monster. He slams down on the monster head with all his strength. The lightning ego is freaking out, because that monster flattened all 3 of them before they could even scratch it. But the baby mage is still bouncing around like parkour Spider-Man. Our guy thinks that for its level, the stone giant actually isn't that fast, and with gravity control he can easily outmaneuver it. The real problem is damage. He literally doesn't have a skill strong enough yet to crack that walking fortress reliably. Stone Knights are pure defense tanks, so his earlier strike barely worked and the massive level gap isn't helping. He knows if he keeps spamming gravity manipulation he'll run out of mana soon, so there's a hard timer on this flex. As he is pondering this, the monster goes in for another attack. But our bro is used to it at this point and can dodge these with his eyes closed. He decides this is reckless as hell, but also that he doesn't have any other choice, so he might as well go all in. As the fight is going on and our boy is just dodging left and right, Lightning Clown watches, thinking he'd kind of hoped this newbie might do something, but seeing his normal attacks fail too, he assumes it's over. MC admits the reduced gravity skill drains too much mana, but he also can't fight high-tier monsters without relying on it. He knows he can't drag this fight out, time is absolutely not on his side, so he decides he has to settle things right now, no more kiting, no more stalling. And just like clockwork, the monster strikes again. And our guy swerves out of the way, a hair's length off. And planting his feet on the ground, he jumps up into the air again, thinking maybe it'll work better this time. But nope, he doesn't attack, it was just him dodging. At this point the monster is furious, only seeing red, and goes to attack our guy just one more time. He uses his powers again. He jukes around the knight, jumps, and lines himself up like he's queuing for a roller coaster drop. Lightning Clown stares and wonders how this guy is even moving like that, guessing it must be some weird class-specific nonsense. MC pops his level 2 gravity manipulation, something he wanted to save but says screw it, no choice now. He uses reverse gravity, flipping his own pull. So he shoots upward instead of staying grounded. He confirms he can apply this skill to himself too, which is both terrifying and very fun. He rides the inverted gravity, thinking this vantage point will finally let him deal real damage. Then he slams increased gravity on himself mid-air, daring the knight to handle what's coming. He stacks extra weight plus fall acceleration, turning his whole body into a literal meteor. He notes that the increased gravity jacks up his weight, and the falling speed adds even more impact force. The knight can't react in time, it's too late to stop him now. He comes crashing down in a full-body meteor drop, pile driving the giant's head like a falling anvil from hell. The stone armor cracks, body caves, and the giant rock doll crumbles to pieces on impact. His UI shows 524 exp gained, and a level jump from 16 all the way to 23 in one go. He exhales, noting it worked somehow. He killed a monster almost double his level and got paid in 7 levels for the trouble. Plopping down to the ground with a sigh. The landing impact was nasty even for him, and he's genuinely glad he maxed that useless fall damage resistance ahead of time. Lightning Boy just stares in awe, saying how incredible it was. Lightning Clown stares, shaking because his full power Thunderbolt did nothing to that monster, but this gravity weirdo just deleted it. Ego Boy admits he didn't expect to ever get help from the mage and asks why MC saved him when he was such an ass at the guild. He even panics that maybe MC is here for revenge. As our bro go to approach him and calls out to him, the blondie nervously answers back. Only to get asked a normal question, "Are you okay, can you stand by yourself?" The clown laughs weakly, thanks him and admits he was saved, his macho talk fully evaporated. Back at the Hunters Guild, the clerk is losing it hearing a report that a level 30 stone knight appeared and got taken down by none other than our boy. She can't believe the same newbie who's just starting out and went in alone claims to have killed it. The MC calmly puts the demonic stone on the counter, saying this should prove the story. She examines it and admits something that big can only come from a monster level 30 or above. Even if it's hard to swallow, she has to log it. She asks if he wants to exchange it for cash since it's worth about 200,000 yen, around 2 grand. He declines, saying he won't trade it yet, because he needs it for now as proof of his skill. Just then, someone calls out to our boy, causing him to turn his head. Later, Lightning Clown shows up in the guild, calling out to him and saying he's been looking for him to thank him again. He adds that he has a great offer to make, smug aura barely recovered. The offer: join his rising melee bro party, the Thunder something somethings, like it's some golden ticket. Everyone around murmurs that this dude just got invited to join the hottest up and coming squad. They assume our bro must be insane strong to get scouted like that, whispering about how incredible he is. The clown says he's not usually on the receiving end of favors and calls it the MC's lucky day. He tells him not to be shy because he owes him one, acting like this recruitment erases his earlier trash talk. Our MC apologizes and immediately turns him down. The whole lobby loses it that he just rejected the Thunder party, whispers explode like a gossip bomb. The clown reminds him he was looking for a party earlier, confused why he'd suddenly change his mind. MC says he was, but now he's changed plans. The solo speed run is working too well. Turning around to leave, while also leaving the Thunder clown shocked. He thinks that if he keeps leveling this quickly, he might make it in time for what he really wants. Soon, a portal called the Theater of Manic Dreams will appear, and inside is a ridiculously busted unique item. He remembers it clearly from his past life, and swears this time he'll be the first to clear that portal. His goal is to secure that weapon himself instead of letting it ruin someone else again. He dumps more stones on the counter and asks the clerk to exchange them for cash. She asks how he keeps killing so many monsters every run and notes she thought he worked alone. He then says he needs just one more thing. He's requesting promotion from rank E to rank D. He learned that hunters are classified into various ranks, starting from F and automatically promoted to E after choosing a character class, but only those ranked D and above are called upon to contain portal disasters. The clerk stammers that you can only apply for rank D once you hit level 25. He shows his updated status, now level 26, and tells her that shouldn't be a problem. She's blown away that he leveled up again so fast, especially as a mage who solos. She mutters that gaining this many levels so quickly is suspicious, and wonders if gravity users are really that powerful. The MC notes he's finally been promoted to rank D. Now he's got an amazing class and 10 full years of S-rank hunter knowledge backing him up. He admits leveling too fast might draw unwanted attention, but he has to rush if he wants to hit his deadline. Promotion to D opens a whole spread of new portals, orc castles, lizard temples, fairy forests, all with higher stakes. It also makes joining parties easier because that rank acts as proof of competence. Most importantly, it's his ticket into the Theater of Manic Dreams. He knows a unique weapon will appear there. One that in his past life went to the wrong hunter. That previous holder became a portal-stalking serial killer, probably corrupted by the sheer power spike. This time our boy swears he won't let the weapon fall into that psycho's hands. To pull it off, he needs at least one partner to help clear the place. He doesn't want a big party too messy, so one solid partner with good synergy is enough. He wants someone trustworthy, compatible with gravity nonsense, and useful specifically for that nightmare theater portal. Ideally, it's someone who usually works solo but is fine with teaming up, so they won't be needy. He wondered if it would be possible to find someone like that in time, contemplating his options as he held the map and looked thoughtful. He spends half a day visiting guild after guild looking for that one perfect partner, and is already on his fourth. He starts to wonder if he should give up on some of his conditions because reality is not a banner. Then he overhears a loud argument. Some salty girl is calling someone useless. The timid girl apologizes over and over, but her party leader snarls that sorry doesn't fix anything. Our bro eavesdropping wonders if those people are arguing. I mean, can he clearly not see the poor soul getting yelled at? She tries to say she'll work harder, but she cuts her off and flatly announces she's fired. She rants that her skills have terrible and are all worthless curses like indigestion, stage fright, and getting lost. He screams that all her skills suck and demands to know what good they are, basically telling her she's trash. She even says she should be paying them for sticking around this long. And the poor girl is just speechless, not knowing what to say, standing there and watching this commotion like a TV drama. He looked away, lost in thought and feeling remorseful as he reflected that she reminded him of his past self, but he knew he couldn't choose a partner out of sympathy since his own life depended on making the right decision. The blue-hair girl felt defeated as she smirked and mocked her choice, sarcastically remarking that the only character class she could select was useless. She then continued, saying her class was mischievous and useless just like the girl herself. The leader then revealed that she had always known this would happen once she learned the blue-hair girl was an enchantress, which caused our bro to stop dead in his tracks. The MC hears the girl's class and realizes she's an enchantress, the exact support class he's been hunting for. He laments that enchantresses and gravity users complement each other well. With hid hand to his chin, he also realized that the girl could do lots of damage to the boss monster inside the theater of Manic Dreams dungeon as well. Just then the angry leader sees our bro watching the commotion and asks what he think he's looking at and for him to get lost. He introduced himself, mentioning that he was seeking members to join his party while displaying a glowing hunter license, exemplifying his friendly and eager demeanor. The girl peeped that he was a D-rank hunter, and immediately switched her attitude towards our guy, noticing the opportunity to leverage his skills. She excitedly proposed that having him in her party could help secure more jobs, and she asked if he would like to join. But our bro had different plans, as he asked the blue-hair girl to start a party with him. Not only did this leave the blue-hair girl confused and shocked, but also her previous leader, as she shouted what did he think he was doing. He thinks to himself that this girl is an enchantress, and the person he's been searching for. He tells himself he can't miss this chance and immediately steps in. The leader angrily dismissed the enchantress, calling her useless and boldly urging our boy to join her party instead. The fired girl mumbles thanks for the offer but points out that he's ranked D, and she isn't even level 20 yet. She panics that her class is really useless and she doesn't want to drag him down. He insists it won't take long for her to level and basically begs her to help him, flipping the script. She wonders aloud if she should just quit being a hunter at all because she's not sure about herself anymore. He says he won't ask for much, just a chance, and that he can help her gain confidence in herself too. She blushes and says if he's okay with someone like her, she'd love to be in his party. Her old leader sneers that the MC will regret picking a useless enchantress and says turning her offer down was a mistake. Our bro thanks her for the advice and mentally puts her in the clown bin. Walking away, he reminds the girl that he knows more about character classes than basically anyone here. He knows an enchantress can cover the weak spots of a gravity user beautifully. And best of all, he knows an enchantress can do insane things specifically inside the theater of Manic Dreams. He grins to himself, already seeing the future loot, and thinks that weapon in that portal is as good as his already.